watching Single on a Saturday Night right here at TGI Fridays, 4000 City Ave. We do this every fourth Saturday at 1 p.m. and you are welcome to join us. Today, we have an awesome show coming up. It is a domestic violence and sexual assault panel, and we have women who are survivors, who are victorious, and people who have family members who have survived. So we're going to hear their stories, and we're going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to start with the right.
Okay. Well, good afternoon again. My name is Karen Montgomery. I have worked with individuals who have been involved in domestic violence situations. That includes men, that includes women, that includes elderly. There is no defined picture of someone who has gone through domestic violence. Rich, poor, all in between. And again, men, women, and elderly are also susceptible to domestic violence. One of the things that I tell people who have recognized that they are in a domestic violence situation is to prepare yourself. If you are going to stay in that situation, then you should be ready at any moment to actually leave. Takes time. Some people are ready immediately, some are not. I can say during my 62 years of here on earth, I was never involved in a domestic violence situation. Got close, but never really involved. Married, divorced, same year. So that's how that went. But in order to prepare yourself, I'm saying that you need to make copies of your birth certificate, of your ID, have a telephone that can only dial 911. Have a safe haven, someplace that you can go, somewhere you can go, someone who you can go to, someone who you can leave all this information with. Because when a perpetrator is being domestically violent towards you, you will not have time to pick up these things. All you are thinking about is leaving the situation. So if you have these things on hand somewhere else in a safe place, it helps a lot. It helps a lot. I have heard women say that they have dug a hole in their backyard and they put their telephone in there so that he or she does not know that they have an extra telephone, because again, a perpetrator will take your telephone. Again, make copies of all your important papers, have them in a safe place, and let someone know. Let someone know what is going on, someone that you trust. Let them know what is going on in that situation that is in your home.
But that's when you get to that point. But when you, sometimes it takes a long time to get to that point where you're even seeking help like that. So, like I said, there's a lot of stories here where actually people went through, and maybe if they'd have known that information, all that you're talking about, maybe they would have been able to move forward. However, sometimes it takes a long time to get to that point.
It absolutely does, because when we're in the situation, you don't realize you're in the situation. You think that it's okay. You make excuses for being there, and I hate to use the word excuse, but you make reasoning for being in that type of situation. He or she loves me. Oh, I got them angry. All kinds of.
But isn't it easier as the person? As the therapy or as the agency, isn't it easier to say that? I mean, when you're in the middle of it, it's easier to say, yeah, you do this, you do this. It's easier to say that. So that's why I want to move forward and hear from people who have actually been through it and actually what they hear this information, but it's not easy to just move forward.
It's not easy at all, and for a lot of reasons. They may have children. It may be because of income. They may have nowhere to go, no one to turn to. But if you tell someone, at least someone, and maybe a lot of people will be able to help you and give you that help, the initial help that you need in the beginning.
All right, Kitt, what have you experienced?
Okay, I'm Kia Moody. Yes, you experienced, but the thing is, what people don't understand is, it is a continuous cycle. Like my parents, my mom was in domestic violence. It was always abuse, in the house. So you grow up thinking that's what love is. Because if anyone that kind of experienced, you don't really know the signs. And the signs is they're perfect in the beginning. You're an angel, they give you everything. That it's just like, but they're trying to kind of isolate you. At that point, it's in the beginning, it's wonderful.
So you said your parents went through it, but are you saying that from your parents going through it, it's what you saw, or did you?
It's what you saw,
or
that
did it
you
continue
think that
into your life?
Because my thing is, when I seen my mother go through it, and you know, she was beautiful. She could tell you she was a model and everything, but the thing is, she got pregnant with me when she was 16. So she left, and then she got with an older man. I wasn't his child. But the thing is, he had financial stability for her. Mm-hmm. So he gave her, but she thought that that's what she had to stick with. I can remember my little sister being in the closet and me grabbing a fork, like, stop hitting my mom. You know what I mean? So, and you grow up thinking, I'm trying not to get emotional.
I know.
But you grow up thinking, I'm not going to let this happen. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be me. I'm not going to be that. I don't know why, but then you see, because then you search for love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And all us women think that love is something totally different. And the thing is, when I first started dating, I didn't accept anything. I was raw. No, it's not this, it's this, this, that. But then when I finally met my daughter's father, and I wanted that happy home because I didn't have the happy home. I wanted that, you know, white picket fence, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep my daughter's father in this house. God rest his soul, he was murdered. But the thing is, he was the one that I can remember that I would try to do everything just to make him happy, just so it wouldn't be anything in the house. I'll never forget, we went into some fight and I was running. I was just running. I ran into the room, like, and he grabbed me and he was just choking me. And that's all I can think is and I was like, just hit me, just do it, just do it. And he was just like, I'm not gonna put no marks on your face. I'm not gonna put no marks on your face. But after it was all said and done, I was just red all on my chest, because he just put his whole hands and his whole, like, his knees up in my chest, that it was just like, people don't understand. And it's not just physical abuse, it can be mentally. Because once I got out of that, I thought, yo, okay, I'm not gonna do this. And then I thought, I'm not even gonna do black men. I'm gonna try Caucasian. Went there. And he was like more of in the prison system, but he was more mentally abusive. He talked to me, he was like, you answer me. You look at me when you answer me. And I just got finished telling at a job interview, because a lot of, and I need people to know this, because a lot of companies and a lot of managers and people that's interviewing people, they think that when a person don't look you in your eyes, that they're being deceiving, that they're not truthful. But the thing is, a lot of my years, I walked with my head down because of low self-esteem, because it was taken from me. So I couldn't look at you in your eyes, because the thing is, I didn't have enough respect for myself.
Wow. That's Qeiyona Moody. When we come back, we will hear more from the rest of them. This is Single on a Saturday Night right here, TGI Fridays. We like to thank Howard Gilliam Jr. of New Video Productions. And I know he is the best. We discovered it, we know it, we believe it, that he is the best production team this side of heaven, and he is improving from a lot of people right now, just a lot of people. And Doc Smitty of Groove Boy Entertainment. I'm looking at the back of his head right now because he's over there filming. So anyway, we're gonna go to a break right here at TGI Fridays, 4000 City L.
felt like Cinderella.
I said, that's fiction. I dropped my hat and ran.
The whole veil comes off.
A little bit X-rated.
Happy birthday, Tracy!
Hit the gas and took off.
Welcome back to Single on a Saturday Night right here at TGI Fridays, 4000 City Ave. Today we are doing things a little differently. This is a domestic violence and sexual assault panel discussion. We just heard from Kia Moody who spoke about her story. It started with her mother, and then it actually came back to her. It actually lived it out herself. And I believe that happens with a lot of people. You see it in your life and you're not understanding how it comes back to you and how you end up in that same situation. But I know people have been able to talk about why that happens. Yvette Money, you are next.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm Yvette Money, and I have, unfortunately, I've been through both situations. Sexually, I was abused at the age of 7 through 10. And it was through family. He was a friend of the family, but was like my uncle, and very good guy, on the outside. But he actually sexually abused me from the age of 7, and they didn't find out that I was being sexually abused until my mom had discovered brown discharge in my panties. It was brown and greenish, and she took me to the hospital at the age of 10, and to come to find out I had gonorrhea from him sexually abusing me. And I had it so long that it was like a 50-50 chance of me having children. But I am blessed to have 3 children.
Yeah.
And God for that. I'm right, Nisa. I thought I could do this without, because
I don't believe anybody can do it without. I mean,
yeah,
it's life. It happens. It's bringing it back up again, and it's an effort to bring it back up again, so we can teach our kids and show them, tell somebody. So what made you not tell? Like,
because to be honest with you, I don't know why, but we protect our abusers too, because I know my family, and I know that if I said anything, that he was going to get killed. So I figured that I'm protecting everybody. I'm protecting him, I'm protecting me, I'm protecting the actions that would happen. Even at a young age, I know if I said something to my father, that was going to be it. And I didn't want him to die. I just wanted him to stop, because I actually did like him as a person.
So why don't we? I mean, I know we don't want anybody to die, but don't you think about?
But that's what you're thinking as a kid. You're thinking as a kid. I just want him to really stop. I don't want him to get killed. I don't want my dad to go to jail or anything, because I know that my father would have went there. And it never was told. I kept silent for years. They kept asking me who it was, and I would never tell. I didn't tell until I had moved far away. I moved down North Carolina for about like 3 years, and we told my grandmother before she passed, but I don't know what happened from that point. But I do know that he did go to jail, and it was pretty much for the same situation. So
eventually
it was with someone else.
He got caught and someone, okay.
Yeah, so, and I don't know, as us women, and still to this day, I don't know why we don't want to retaliate, We just want his sick mind to be fixed.
But a lot of times the sick mind doesn't get fixed. If they go along for so many years and then they go to jail, jail is not going to get their mind right. They're going to be the same way. When they come back out, they're going to be the same way. And 9 out of 10, they're going to do it again to someone else.
It's true.
So what are we doing when they're not being fixed? And it happens, if you look around, I don't know how many people in this room have been affected by it, but there's more times that more people. I know too many people that have been affected by it. So what can we do to...
But you don't think about that till you step out of the box. You know, like I'm older now, and I have children, and you know, and I really think that I was really hard with my children. You know, in a sense, you know,
really protective,
very protective, and they always be like, well, mom, but I didn't let them spend a night over nobody's house. They weren't allowed to do that. Even family members, they weren't allowed to go over there. You know. It was only 2 houses they were able to go, to my mother's house and to my best friend's house. And when they stayed over there, you know, even though I know it can happen either way, a man or a female can be, you know, sexually abusive, but I don't know, like, you know, I trust her, you know, so they were able to stay there or there. That was it. I didn't allow them to go over other people's houses. And they used to hurt from that, but I had to explain to them my story and let them know why I was so protective of them. I was scared for them to get on the bus. I was scared. I take my kids
everywhere.
To and from places, you know, and my son is 17 now. I take him to and from places. My other one is driving, my daughter's driving, but at a certain point, I couldn't let go because of my fears. And I think that I kind of hindered them from being able to grow and be able to just understand that, you know, everybody's not nice, because I kept them away from so much evil. But now that they're older, they're dealing with situations where they have to separate, they have to learn the hard way of everybody not being nice, because now they're on their own. You know, I don't.
So it's basically they're getting hard lessons because they're out there in life.
Exactly.
Because you were shielding them from everything. But I understand why you're shielding them. I believe me, I understand.
I shelter them so much.
It definitely is a difficult situation. This is definitely not about me, but I will, because you are sharing, I definitely will share. It's something I probably never would have before. However, when I was 5 years old, we were at a babysitter. We went to the babysitter every day. And the babysitter's grandson was 16 years old, and every day he molested me. Every day. The reason why we couldn't call it rape is because it's a little girl, and it was too big, but he tried. It's not like he didn't try. He tried every day. And the same way you said, the way my mother found out was the discharge. It wasn't because of anything happening and he got gonorrhea, but it was like something like, why is her pants wet? Why is it, you know what's on the pants. Why is this happening? So that's how she found out. And the same way you're saying, we don't tell, but he said, I'm going to hurt your brother. I'm going to hurt your family. I'm going to hurt the people you love if you tell. Yeah. But the way I see it is like, when you think about it, when you look back on it, it's like, I know we don't want to retaliate, but somehow in my spirit right now, right this second, I want to retaliate, because I know he's probably still out there doing this to other people. He didn't get the help he needed. He didn't get the help. He got to walk the streets like anybody else, but we swept it under the rug. Of course, the neighborhood protected me. They told key people in the neighborhood. I was wondering why people treated me really special. I thought I was really special for a minute, but everywhere I went, the Boys and Girls Club, everywhere, oh, she's special. She doesn't have to go to the bathroom in the regular bathroom. I can go to the bathroom in the private rooms. I was able to do a lot of things, and I didn't realize why they were treating me special, but I had a conversation with my mother, because things kept coming up. You know how you start remembering things, it starts coming back to you, you understand why it's coming back, and I'm like, Mom, what is going on? And she explained to me, I didn't want you to keep talking about it. I wanted you to get it out your mind. But the reason why people are treating you this way is I told them. I told this lady do this. I told this man this, so they could protect me, because the man was still, because he was a boy, he was 16, he was still able to walk in the neighborhood, just not on the block I live on or the street I walk. So that's how they were protecting me. I'm not sure if that's the best way to handle anything, because like I said, no one is being they're not being recuperated, or their minds aren't being renewed. They are staying in the same situation to happen to someone else. So I don't know what we can do as a community to do something about it. I feel like we need to do something about it.
It's hard to do something about it when you keep it all in, you know, when you're not saying anything. Like, I was a teenager once I finally broke and actually told my story because I was protecting so many other people. You know, I was protecting my cousin too because it was her father. I didn't want her to hurt. You know, it's so much that I was holding in and trying to protect. And then when you take on so many responsibilities and you start thinking that you're an adult, even though I was between the age of 7 and 10, I thought I was entitled to be an adult now. Because when he molested me, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, I can, you know, when the parents send you to bed because it's adult time, I'm like, no, I should be down here too. Like, I'm thinking these things, you know. You know, it was a time I ate too much. I thought I was pregnant. You know, because I was like 7 or 8, and I ate too much, and my stomach was big. You know, if you're a kid and your stomach big after you eat, and I sat there rubbing my stomach. I remember doing that, thinking I had a baby in there and stuff. Wow. Because mentally in my mind, I'm thinking now I'm grown because of what he did to me.
Wow. Anyway, we're gonna go to a break right here. TGI Fridays is single on a Saturday night. Thank you to Howard Gillian Jr. He worked with Meek Mill. That's what he told me. So he worked with Meek Mill. We all worked with Meek Mill. Shout out to Meek Mill. Free Meek. Thank you for freeing Meek and all that other situation. Anyway, let's go to a break. And thank you to AlvinaStyles.com. Alvina Styles provides the jewelry, the bling, and Rashida Stewart provides the hair that makes it go curly. It's not my hair, but she sells that good hair. You get, some people think it's mine, but it's not. But she sells that hair. Rashida Stewart of Lotus Beauty Spa, and I'm not afraid to tell you it's not mine. What? Let's go.
Single on a Saturday Night family. This is Michelle Bailey from Alvina Styles, showing you the latest and the greatest. It's getting ready to be summer. It's getting ready to be hot, and you get ready to go on vacation. And we have everything you need. Check us out here. We have floppy hats, we have brims, we have fedoras, we have whatever you need going on vacation. We got lingerie for the ladies, sexy stuff for the men, our beautiful scarves and bags. So check out AlvinaStyles.com and come see us today.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to Single on a Saturday Night right here at TGI Fridays, 4000 City Ave. We are dealing with a serious situation once again, like Stormy said, it is the woman of strength, and we are showing strength and courage in telling the stories, and the stories are real. They're like, this is what's happening, and it happened in our lives. However, we are stronger enough because we move forward, and we are moving forward. And next up we have Ladi K, who's all the way from Virginia, and she's gonna tell her story.
I'm probably the most nervous person up here right now because I haven't shared my story at all, like at all. The most I've shared my story is poetry. That's how I always had to do. I had to write. I was never able to talk to my mom, wasn't able to talk to my stepdad. My dad wasn't really there. My little brother was younger than me, so I really didn't have the time, or, you know, no one to really talk to. But I actually did suffer abuse from my stepfather, as well as sexual abuse from my stepfather. I watched my mom get beat every day. He was a drunk. He did drugs, and it affected the household a lot. I was molested from my stepfather, probably from the 3rd grade all the way up to my 8th grade year. My aunts on my father's side always knew something was going on. My father always knew, but I always denied it. I denied it. Hands down, I just denied it. I never told anybody. I think I let it out when I turned 21 years old in the military. I told my first husband. I told my daughter, and that's it. I never trusted anybody else to tell. I never trusted anyone. You know, I actually grew up like that, just not trusting anybody. You know, because a lot of times we tell people you're being sexually abused or you're being beat, they judge you. So, you know, watching my mom deal with the abuse and everything, but she stayed. And as a little girl, you wonder, why the hell are you staying with this man that you know is sexually assaulting your daughter or beating your ass, excuse my language, but you know what I mean? Like, you know he's beating your daughter, he's beating you. And
But she knew about the sexual assault? She knew?
She knew about the sexual assault. Well, I'll say this. I believe in my heart that she knew about the sexual assault. This is what I believe. I don't know if it's the truth or not, and as an adult now, after all these years, I'm able to finally forgive her a little bit. It's steps to it, you know. It takes time, and I'm 41, so imagine that. Like, you know. And I think why it's taking me so long to forgive her is because not only did she stay with him and abandon us, you allowed this man to kick me out your house at 13 years old. It's a good thing my father's sister was there to, you know, to take me in as her own and raise me as her own with her own 3 girls. But what if I didn't have nowhere to go? What if she wasn't there for me? My dad's 3,000 miles away. Where was I supposed to go, you know? He used to send me to bed without eating. I found out I had a cracked sternum when I was in the military because he used to pick me up out of my bed and throw me against corners and things like that. So that's hard to forgive someone, you know? Like, even when I got older, I got into an abusive relationship with my first husband. He abused me, and I stayed. I just stayed because to me it was normal. But I think what made me know that it's time to go is because I promised my daughter that I would get us out this situation and I would never go back. I know what my mom dealt with for me, and she stayed with this man all these many years. You just stayed with this darn man for what? So for me, now I'm able to have a conversation with her because now she takes credit for it. She admits, okay, yes, I allowed this to happen. She's able to apologize instead of keep making excuses and excuse after excuse after excuse and make it seem like I did something to you. When you owe me, I was the kid. You were supposed to protect me, not I protect your ass, you know? Like, he never touched my brother, though. Never touched my brother, but my brother did grow up beating his wife. Like, I've dealt with abuse from my brother, trying to protect his wife. He kicking her with Timberlands and stuff, so I can't make an excuse for him as a man, but what I can say is he's seen that growing up, so he might have thought that that was normal for him. He has a lot of anger built up inside of him, but so do I. I can't say that I forgive my stepdad, though, because I don't know how, I've tried to have a conversation with him and he doesn't admit it. You're still in denial of all these things that you did to me as a kid, as well as your own daughter. You did it to your own daughter. Like, what would make someone want to be with a little kid? I don't get it. You know, and so staying with someone, her staying with him is what made me not really mess with her. And like still to this day, like I have a little relationship with her, but I can't say, oh, I love you. Like if she say I love you, I'm like, okay, bye. Because I can't say something that I don't feel, you know?
But I think we need to come up with ways to move forward, and I believe Tiona mentioned that, which ways to move forward, and we'll talk about that in a little while. Alista, we'll move on, and because this is about your sister, and tell them about your sister.
Hi, I'm Alista. My sister, Masako Saki Griffin, affectionately known as Saki, was murdered August 1st, 2014, and she was murdered by her daughter's father. So even though they weren't together, I feel that she felt she still needed to be obligated to have her daughter's father around. Unfortunately, she suffered abuse for over 10 years with him, whether they were together or not. And on that tragic day, she was murdered in her home, strangled to death by a cell phone cord. He left her there. He threw a towel over her face to cover her face. So I have no idea what that was about, but I felt like it was guilt because he didn't want to see what he did to her, stole her car, drove to Florida, and had some suicidal ideation. He did not fight expedition, which was great, coming back from Florida, and by it happening in Delaware County, they were on it. So telling this story forward, moving backwards, it was a very bizarre weekend because my sister was scheduled to go somewhere else. Very beautiful young woman. Like I said, at the age of 38, had accomplished so much, recently graduated with dual degree in nursing and human service, had 2 children at the time, age 10 and age 20. I think my nephew was 21 or 22 at the time.